Everybody's putting their 2 cents about how to make tea, and of course, everybody has their own way, but I just thought I would share mine. I use tea bags quite a lot, and sometimes I use ball tea infusers. But when I'm really looking to relax and I really want to enjoy myself and have a super good cuppa, then I like to do it the long way. So I've got my materials. I've got a teapot here. This is a little one I use when I'm just drinking by myself. I got my tea, and now tea should always be kept in an airtight container. I did not do that with this tea. I'm a really bad person. Um, but, that's the risk you take, but it does go bad a lot faster if you don't keep it in an airtight container. I've got a tea measuring spoon, which you totally don't have to have, but my roommate has one, so I use it. I have a tea strainer that I put on top of my teacup because I'm using a loose leaf and I don't want to get chunks in my tea. And I got my sugar and I got my milk and I have my homemade tea cozy, which is really nice for keeping your tea warm while it's brewing. So you'll notice that I have my kettle boiling on the stove. I personally enjoy using kettle hot water rather than microwave hot water. We also have here a electronic, water heater that is quite nice, but I'm biased because this is my nice kettle and I like it. And I guess I tend to take it off the heat right before it starts to actually squeal, so I can kind of see the steam coming out the top. So I'm gonna have to wait a minute and let that happen. Okay, so you might be able to see that the steam is starting to come out of my pot, which means it is just about to the boiling point, and it's probably going to start squealing in a sec. So I'm actually going to go ahead and turn my heat off. And something that you should do, although I'm not always great about it. Ooh, what's that? Oh, it's an old tea leaf. Hold on. That should not be in there. Something that you are advised to do is to put a little bit of your hot water in your teapot and swirl it around. That heats up the teapot and makes it, I don't know, supposedly it infused the tea leaves better, and I don't know, I think it just creates a nice, warm, cozy place for your tea. Please ignore my dirty dishes. So I've got, I'll bring this over here. So I've got my teapot over here, and I'm going to get my water. You can hear it start making a noise. And I'm going to set it down in a trivet because it will totally burn my tablecloth. And so I am ready to scoop in my tea. Typically, the rule that I've always heard is to put in a scoop for each person who's drinking it plus one for the pot. This is a very small pot, so I'm probably going to do about a scoop and a half. A nice, generous scoop here. Oh, see, that's what happens when you try to record and make tea at the same time. Okay, in we go. I push that in there. It's okay. Nobody will know. 10-second rule. And oh my gosh, I made a hot mess. Okay. I'm going to add my hot water, and I like to fill it up pretty high. I like to drink a lot of tea, but I don't want to fill it too high because I want to be able to put my top on. Okay, then I'm going to put back on my lid, which of course I left over here because that is how I roll. I'm going to put my top back on, and I'm going to cover my teapot with a tea cozy. That way it doesn't lose heat while it's brewing, and it needs to brew for about 3 minutes. So I'll pause and let it do its thing. Okay, so once your tea has steeped, I personally will, I take my tea cozy off, of course. I'm going to check with my lid and check on my tea. It's looking pretty good in there. So I'm going to give it a stir. All right, that looks pretty good. Okay. And so, since this is a loose leaf tea, I am going to use a tea strainer with my teacup because otherwise I'm going to get big chunks of tea leaves in my cup, and I don't want to do that. And it's always nice, if you can, to use china of some kind rather than a plain ceramic mug, because china just makes tea taste a lot better. I don't know why. It just is. Maybe I'm just a yuppie. And I'm going to really carefully bring my teapot over here. It's pretty full, so I'm not going to tip it a whole lot. I don't know how nice that is. Oh, so nice. Okay. Put this back here, and I'm going to put my tea cozy back on because, I don't want my tea to get cold. And remove my tea strainer. You can see I got some tea leaves in there, but none in my teacup. And then the way you prepare it is totally, absolutely up to you. I personally like to put a little sugar in my tea, so I'm going to do that. And I might put a drop of milk. This isn't a super black tea, as you can see, but I like the taste of milk in my tea. Everybody's different. Don't let anybody ever tell you the way you prepare your tea is wrong, because that's just silly. There are some people who say, oh man, you can never put milk in fruit tea, or you should always use honey, you should always use sugar. And maybe those things are true. And personally, I've never put milk in fruit tea. But if you like it, tea is supposed to be for your enjoyment. So you should do whatever makes you happy. So I am ready to enjoy my tea. And of course, with a good cup of tea should always come a good book. So I'm going to sit down here and enjoy myself. And that is how I make my tea. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you have a lovely day. Have a nice cup on me. Bye.